the role of Geshe Karpa in starting Ganden Dharma, the Ganden tradition, was to teach Dharma, to teach as much as possible, and he gave very pure teachings. This was his role. And Dorje Shugden is a little bit more like the admin director of the Ganden doctrine. Dorje Shugden doesn't teach. Dorje Shugden works behind the scenes, blessing people's minds, helps us to protect our initial baby Dharma realizations so that they can grow and flourish, helps us to have all the conditions that we need for our practice, our successful practice of Dharma. So those are kind of basic two aspects of Manjushri, and it's good to sort of be clear of the difference. Now, with Dorje Shugden, we need to build up a strong connection with Dorje Shugden, and obviously this doesn't happen immediately. It's something we build up over time, and I'd like to say a few words about how we can start to build up a connection with Dorje Shugden. And this is applicable if we're completely new to Dharma, or if we've been practicing Dharma for 10 or 20 years. Wherever we are, we all need to strengthen our connection with Dorje Shugden, with the protective, and here I mean protecting our Dharma realizations, with the protective energy of Wisdom Buddha Manjushri. So generally, if we pray to Dorje Shugden, anybody prays to Dorje Shugden, even an insect prays to Dorje Shugden. Well, I don't think insects pray, but because Dorje Shugden is enlightened being, helps, of course. But the speed at which we receive help will depend upon our connection with the Buddha we pray to. So if we have a close connection with Dorje Shugden, then we can receive results very quickly. If we have a more of a distant, nebulous connection with Dorje Shugden, then the results, the help takes longer to come. So if we want to gain swift results from our prayers, if we want to get swift help, then we need to build our connection with Dorje Shugden, so we have a close connection. And to do this, the method I'm going to talk about to do this is the 4 heart commitments of Dorje Shugden, how to maintain these. So, one thing is good to think about is that it's not just from the side of Dorje Shugden. The help we receive isn't just from the side of Dorje Shugden. It's also from our own side. Like, if we are to receive help swiftly, we need to align our thoughts so that we think and act in the same way that Dorje Shugden thinks and acts. So, as I said, anybody who requests for blessings and help will receive blessings and help. But if we train in aligning our thoughts and actions with Dorje Shugden's, then we receive help swifter, because there is a natural alignment. And we do this through keeping the 4 heart commitments, which are to number 1, to cherish Kadam Dharma. Number 2 is to practice Kadam Dharma purely. And number 3 is to teach Kadampa purely. And number 4 is to try and help Kadampa flourish in whatever way we can, which we've all been doing today on this work day, helping KMC New York in various aspects, whether it's been removing rocks or whatever. We've been helping Dharma to flourish. So the first one, to cherish Kadampa, this is very much related with the depth of our faith. So cherishing Kadampa is about how much joy we find in Kadampa, how much beauty we find in Kadampa. So if we if for example, if I kind of offer a wonderful jewel, and we just look at it and we think, that's a funny stone. I personally prefer the rough ones. I don't like the shiny ones. We're not really cherishing it because we can't see the beauty of it. It doesn't bring us joy. So we only cherish something if we see its value, if we see its joy, if we see its beauty. So to fulfill the first heart commitment, it's all about cultivating the art of taking the approach of trying to find joy in our practice, rather than just trying to practice, trying to find joy in our practice, trying to find beauty in the teachings. If we take this approach, naturally we will start to cherish the teachings and our practice of the teachings more deeply. But if the teachings, it's just teachings, and we don't find joy in them, and we don't find beauty in them, then how can we cherish them? So that's like the first one. The second commitment is to practice Kadampa purely. The emphasis here being purely. So purely meaning without mixing with other traditions. To practice Kadampa purely without mixing with one tradition or another. It's like if we are eating our main course, and then we kind of throw in a bit of ice cream, and we throw in a bit of whatever, and kind of have several courses, and it's all kind of like, then it's just one big mess. And if we do that with our spiritual path, we kind of throw in a bit of this and we throw in a bit of that, we just end up with a mess. So just Tsongkhapa encouraged us to practice purely, focus upon our chosen tradition, and just try and practice that without mixing it with other traditions, which are also very good, very praiseworthy. But if we mix all the traditions together, we just have a mess. If we practice whatever tradition we practice, it's good to focus only on that tradition, to have a certain purity. Because remember, realizations don't come only through the teachings, they come through the blessings. In particular, the blessings of the lineage gurus. And if we mix the different traditions, it's like we dilute the blessings we receive. And it's the blessings that really is the magic. So this is the second the second heart commitment. Third heart commitment is to teach Kadampa purely. So again, to teach it without mixing with other traditions, just to teach pure Kadampa. Bear in mind here we are trying to bear in mind that actually teaching isn't like just sitting at the front and talking. It's teaching is transmitting. Like Geshe never regarded himself as just teaching. He regarded himself as passing on what his own spiritual guide had given to him, what Cherishing Rinpoche had given to him, passing it on to us without adding anything and without taking anything away. So teaching by nature is about passing on what we've received without adding anything or without taking anything away. So that then the people we are teaching to have the freedom to have received the real deal, and then they can decide what they want to do with it, but they've received the real deal. So teaching Kadampa without adding anything, without taking anything away, that's the third heart commitment. Whereas we may not all be in a position where we are teaching at the moment, we are all in a position where we can maintain in our heart a wish to teach. And maybe in a few years' time, or maybe in 10 years' time, or maybe in another lifetime. Of course, is maintaining this heart commitment is not about teaching now, but it's about our intention when we teach, whenever that is, teach purely. And then the fourth, to do what we can to help Kadampa flourish, helping Dharma centers in any way we can, like we've been doing all day today. This is the fourth heart commitment. So these are called heart commitments because we keep at our heart. And they're a sort of thing that we grow into. So there might be one or two that you really resonate with, and maybe a couple that you think, well, actually, don't feel I'm ready for that yet, or something. But just over time, try and kind of pick these up, and then keep them, and over the years continue to deepen the level to which you keep them. In my case, I try to keep these to the best of my ability, but I still regard this as an area that deepening can happen. We should never feel that, okay, we're keeping it perfectly. These four heart commitments is that they're always an area where there can always be some deepening.